New patch notes have just dropped for Unite. Ain't that exciting? Isn't everyone so excited? But while we're on these patch notes, welcome, we got the Celestial Rumble Part 2 patch notes. Hopefully this doesn't go to like a Part 3 like last time. I feel like that Part 3 lasted for a little bit too long. It was like, okay, we're done with this. Let's move on. So, let's see what they got in store for us today, or I guess coming soon. So, new type of battle, Chargabug Scuffle. Interesting. Also, special rewards are usually good. Sometimes they give like a name change card in those special rewards. So if you're ever kind of holding off for kind of a name change at all, maybe this Chargabug Scuffle might be a good place to start. So we got Cinderace first, Hyrule Ball getting buffed. Cooldown going from 5 seconds to 4.5 seconds. Interesting to buff Cinderace. The moves, okay, so to make the playstyle centered on Hyrule Ball smoother, the moves, cooldowns, and usability has been improved. Honestly, interesting to say that to make it smoother. I mean, Cinderace is honestly one of the better attackers as the current meta kind of stands. Let's just move on from that. Lucario, Power Up Punch, damage based on the opponent's HP, missing HP, 10% to 12%. And Close Combat, cooldown going from 7.5 to 6.5 seconds. Lucario's been struggling somewhat in the recent battle environment. The finishing power of Power Up Punch, which serves as a combo ender, and the cooldown of Close Combat have been buffed. It's actually nice that they're doing this because like that extreme speed set was usually looked at as like his better set. Really happy to see that they're actually kind of buffing it and giving it a little bit even more damage, and now it's not going to be so one-sided. And so now is the bread and butter, for me at least. We got Dragapult having a buff, having Dragon Breath going from 7.5 seconds to 7 seconds, and the first stage damage having a 23% increase. So, yeah, I mean, Dragon Breath is barely played. I don't know why you don't go like Shadow Ball instead, but interesting to see that they're trying at least to change it a little bit. So let's see what their theory behind it is. To enhance Dragapult's signature playstyle of using its high mobility to attack opponents while keeping them at a distance, the damage of Dragon Breath has been increased and its cooldown has been reduced. By applying it slow more frequently, it is now easier for Dragapult to maintain an advantage position. No matter what you do with Dragon Breath, it's not going to be as good. The best part about Shadow Ball is that it's a gap closer, and it's also like it kind of acts as an escape since it can go through walls. And like even an initiator, where like Dragon Breath is strictly just to slow them down. And when we're having a meta where like Pokemon literally jump on you, I can't see Dragon Breath being used replacing Shadow Ball ever. So yeah, I mean, big damage increase, nearly 0.25% increase, but still I would not recommend playing Dragon Breath. Zoroark getting a buff, HP recovery having a 50% increase on cut, Night Slash input window for movement, nerfed actually, so they're actually increasing the time it takes for your combo to get off, so I guess it's going to be a little bit slower now. And then Shadow Claw Plus, time opponent is thrown, going from 0.6 to 0.4 seconds, so a nerf on that as well. Zoroark has issues with durability in combat, recovery from cut has been improved. On the other hand, the throw duration of Shadow Claw, which had powerful hindrance effects, has been shortened to adjust the balance. Yeah, I mean, cut has kind of fallen out of favor in recent times because Night Slash is just so good, but yeah, we'll see if cut is gonna be used a little bit more, seeing that his combo is gonna be a little bit slower now. Alright, Mew, basic attack changed to deal damage based on special attack, damage from -20 to 37%, Solar Beam. Damage level 1 to 15, 10% decrease to 8%. And then Surf, damage level 1 to 15, 7% decrease to 8%. Okay. I like the percent changes. While Mew could overwhelm opponents with high damage in the early game, it often struggled in the later stages as it did not scale well. We've been saying this for so long. Mew does not have late game damage, it just falls off a cliff. These adjustments are intended to reduce Mew's early game damage, while improving its damage scaling, allowing it to shine in the final team fights. I like that. I actually honestly do like these increases. Again, percent scaling is so much better than just like the flat numbers. And I really do hope that Mew can just find his proper place in the meta and not just be like this kind of afterthoughts. Is it a support? Is it an attacker? Like, I think like a supporting attacker is a role, like a viable role to play, and this definitely helps it like fit into a proper role. So good job on the Mew. Okay, moving on. Pawmot, basic attack, 0 to 20%, going down to 0 to 15%, interestingly enough. Thunder Punch now has an added effect, which can paralyze opponents, decreasing movement speed and attack speed. That's going to kind of change a lot how Pawmot's going to interact with Pokemon now. We've seen with like Trevenant, like just adding a stun effect on Curse completely changes how you interact with the Pokemon. So this, I mean, some fights he would lose, he's going to win now. I'm really intrigued to see how this plays out. Supercell Slam is now unstoppable. Another unstoppable Pokemon. That is very interesting to give him that. That is oof. I mean, we saw what happened when Duraludon got unstoppable. Another huge change. Not gonna lie, a huge change by giving him this effect. Gets a shield upon landing and also a 10% damage increase. Wow. They're really throwing everything at Pawmot right now. This is crazy. Cooldowns 8 seconds to 7 seconds for Volt Switch, and then damage is a 10% increase. And the Unite move, Zap Full Charge, now has the added effect of recovering HP equal to 30% of the damage dealt while the Unite move is active. What's going on? Okay, not gonna like. Pawmot felt a bit weak, but it didn't feel this weak, right? Like, is it just me? A general overhaul is being performed to broaden Pawmot's tactical options. Thunder Punch's damage has been lowered in exchange for hindrance effects, while Wild Charge has been improved for more aggressive plays by lowering the recovery from its basic attack but increasing the explosive power of its Unite move. Pawmot's playstyle is now intended to have more defined moments of power. Defined moments of power is one way of putting it, yeah. Too much power? Did they ever think about that though? This is so scary. Okay. Be happy if you bought Pawmot, because this is gonna probably be the most effective. This is probably the most buffed Pokemon this entire patch. I don't see them buffing anyone more than Pawmot right here. I'm kind of scared. I got goosebumps after reading that. That's kind of scary. Let's move on. Absol. Pursuit, having a damage 17% to 8% decrease, and cooldown reduction on hit from behind, going from 80% to 70%, making it slower for him to get that 2-step combo. Unite move Midnight Slash also getting a nerf of 8% decrease. So with Pursuit, which is available from early game, Absol could easily turn an early advantage into a one-sided match. That is very true. The main factors of this were the move's extremely high damage when attacking from behind and the ability to use it repeatedly at short intervals. Any attacker knows that was completely broken. As soon as Absol popped up on your lane, you just right your will, you're dead. Like, even if you manage to get to your goal zone, this guy's just gonna he's just gonna jump on you immediately. Pursuit was hard to deal with. To mitigate scenarios where the match is decided in the early game and to create more counterplay opportunities for the opposing team, the damage and cooldown reduction effect of Pursuit have been lowered. I really do like this nerf as well. A big complaint I have since the map changes are the fact that an early advantage can turn the games into a one-sided match. We see that in the Groudon map very commonly, and it's a lot of it has to do with like some Pokemon like Absol who have these kits that are adjusted for the Rayquaza map, not adjusted for the Groudon map, just completely running through the competition. So very glad to see that. Comfey, cooldown on Grass Knot going from 6 seconds to 7 seconds, and the additional Pokemon when hitting 2 Pokemon has an approximately 30% decrease. Thank God, I hate Grass Knot. Flow Healing, shield granted upon attaching, has a 5% decrease, and Sweet Kiss has a 5% decrease on the shield when attaching. So Honestly, I do hate playing against Comfeys. I'll always celebrate when I see a Comfey get nerfed. Grass Knot's impact in teamfights, particularly its ability to deal significant bonus damage when hitting multiple opponents, was overly potent for a supporter. To shift Comfey's power more towards healing and utility, the move's cooldown has been increased and its multi-hit damage has been reduced. Alright, pretty standard so far. Umbreon getting a nerf, I believe. Time opponent is unable to act on the second hit, going from 1 second to 0.6 seconds for its foul play. Also the cooldown being increased from 7 seconds to 0.5 seconds. Umbreon's hindrance capabilities were exceptionally high, frequently creating situations where it was difficult to counterattack once caught. The duration of the unable to act effect and the move's cooldowns have been nerfed to make it easier for opponents to handle. That tracks too. A lot of the Pokemon that we've just went through, I mean, if you haven't watched the tier list that I do, obviously, I put them fairly high on the tier list, and I think that these guys are definitely like a step above a lot of the competition. So honestly, I'm so far very driving with these entire patch notes. Ceruledge Psycho Cut is being nerfed 11% to 7% decrease, and the opponent's defense reduction effect being decreased from 36% to around 21%. And its Unite move, Revenant Rend, has a damage decrease of 8%. So, you know, I mean, we've been playing against a lot of Ceruledges recently, and he pops you very quickly. Revenant Rend and Psycho Cut are scary, scary moves. Very happy to see them being nerfed. Ceruledge combined a defense reduction effect with high burst damage, making it a major threat, especially to low durability Pokemon in the early game. Its damage and the defense reduction effect have now been lowered to adjust the balance. And it seems the last Pokemon to be affected in these last patch notes is Aegislash, with a minor nerf to its wide guard. Cooldown going from 8 seconds to 8.5 seconds, and the time opponent is thrown going from 0.75 seconds to 0.6 seconds. Wide guard is a powerful move both offensively and defensively, with an especially high impact on teamfights. By adjusting the move's cooldown and hindrance duration, the timing of its use is now intended to be more critical. I mean, you'd see a lot of people, I mean, especially like the less experienced Aegislashes, just spamming wide guard as soon as it's up, so this'll help that a little bit. It is a pretty powerful move. But anyways, that is everyone affected in these patch notes. We have made it to the end in one piece. So by far, Pawmot has been the most buffed Pokemon in this entire patch. This is kind of crazy how many effects it got in just one patch. Has the effect to paralyze the opponent with Thunder Punch, Unstoppable when charging with Supercell Slam, gets a shield with Supercell Slam, and its Unite move also has a recovery aspect to it now. Honestly, you can look at this and say this is completely overloaded. I got my fingers crossed though that this doesn't just break just every game it's a part of in the future. We just dealt with Empoleon. I really need these all-rounders to just like cool it for a week or two. Let some like other roles have some fun, because it's just been this all-rounder meta for so long. So fingers crossed this doesn't break the bank or the meta. But that's gonna be it for the patch notes for the Celestial Rumble Part 2. Thank you guys for watching.